Hello, today I want to show something very simple in the web-based version of SketchUp, which I could not figure out how to do until I watched several videos and read several websites. It is quite simply to exactly specify the dimensions of objects as you're creating them. So I've created a complex object here. It's basically a block plus a cylinder. And I want to replicate this right next to it. And I'll change it slightly so to give you an example. The first thing you're going to want to do to create a new object is come over here to the toolbar and single click and click on the rectangle. Once you've clicked on the rectangle and you move your pencil around, you're going to see that you can start this rectangle wherever you want in three-dimensional space, making sure that it's laying flat on the ground similar to the other block. So you single click once, and you begin to drag it out to the top right. And as you can see on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, the dimensions are changing as you move your mouse around. Right now it shows 69 by 82, but I want this to be a perfect square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let go of my mouse. I have not clicked, making sure that you have not clicked. It's still able to move wherever you want it. Just let go of the mouse so you don't interrupt the measurement. And on your keyboard, you're going to type 50, 50 and enter. There you can see it has exactly changed to the dimensions that you want. Those are 50 millimeters by 50 millimeters. And now you're free to move off of the object anywhere you want. You can make something else. But now I want to change this plane, this two-dimensional plane, to a three-dimensional object. So I'm going to come back over here and do my push-pull button. And I'm going to take my push-pull button and I'm going to find the face of that square. And once you can see it's changed colors and it has the little pixels spread through there, you're going to click once. And then you're going to drag that up to the height that you want to make it. Let's just say we want it to be 10 millimeters high. So just like before, you can keep moving up or down. You could find 10 if you wanted, like doing that. But let's say we want to just type it in so it's easy and quick and exact. So let go of the mouse. Do not click again, because if you click again, you will set to the dimensions that it's currently at. Instead, you could just go ahead and type 10 and enter. Just like before, it has released your mouse from the object and it has been set to 10 millimeters. If you were unsure, you could always take your dimensions button and you can bring it over here and you can check. So if you put your cursor, your mouse on any of the lines, you can make a dimensions for it. So I'm just going to go ahead and try that. This happens to be 50 millimeters, just like it shows. And if I wanted to do the side and see if the side were exactly 10, because it's hard to tell now, you just do that again. You find one of those lines. Just got to make sure it's blue. And you can drag that out. So yes, it is 50 by 10. And let's just do one more to make it exactly what it is. So let's find another edge. Make sure it turns blue. Click once and drag that out. So look at that, 50 by 50 by 10. All right, now that we've made a very simple block, we want that cylinder to go on top. But this is the thing. This is the difficult part that's not obvious in SketchUp. I want that cylinder to be in the perfect middle. And it's not obvious when you build a cylinder on top of a block that it's going to be in the middle. And I'm going to give you an example of how it's very difficult to tell. So I've selected the cylinder tool, and I'm trying to go around here. I just can't seem to find the center. I think that's the center, but I'm not totally sure. So let's just offset it. Let's just say I'm not really sure. I think this is the center. I click once, and then I can drag it out to make the size that I want. And let's just decide that that's the size I want. It's a radius of 15. You click again and it's set. But you know that's not the center. You want it right on the center. So what we need to do is go ahead and delete that circle that we made. So you click once with your selector tool, hit the delete button on your keyboard, and let's go ahead and do some lines in the middle. So take your pencil, your line tool, and when you move around on this object, on this face, you're going to notice that it tends to snap to certain parts. And if you get right here, it's going to snap to the midpoint. So once it snaps to the midpoint, you click once, and let's go ahead and drag it to the other side. And if you notice, it's going to snap again to the midpoint. So now we know we're exactly in the middle on that side of the square. Well, let's do that again. Let's take the other midpoint on the other side and drag it across. And once it snaps to the middle, you have the perfect center of this square. Now we want to take that circle tool and do it exactly like before, but what happens now that you drew those lines is that it snaps. It snaps to the exact center. So you click once, and now you're going to adjust the size, the radius of the cylinder. That's eventually going to be a cylinder. And you can see on the bottom right, it's already telling you here's what it is right now. But I want it to be exactly 10 millimeters. So let go. I have not clicked on the mouse again. I'm going to go ahead and just type 10 and enter. So you can see that made a perfect 10 millimeter radius. Now what we would want to do next is extend this push-pull to make it high in 3 dimensions. But what happens if you go ahead and do that? You see that it's selecting in certain sections. That's not going to work. That's not what we want. So let's go ahead and take our selector tool, and let's go ahead and delete these lines that we made earlier, because we don't need them anymore. They are only to serve to get the center of the object. So all you do is click on the line and make sure it turns blue. Hit your delete key every time. Now that there's no more lines on there, let's go ahead and try that again with our push-pull tool. So you can select here or you can select here. This is where we want to push-pull. So once it turns blue, you click once and you can raise that up to your height that you want. And let's just say we want it to be 50. So while it's still mobile, let go of your mouse so you don't mess up the measurement and type 50 and enter. And now you have your new object.